Welcome back, dearest listener, to Queen of Daggers, Heart of Fire, our experimental Daggerheart podcast.
Was it not the truth I told you? Lots of fun at a Shadowjack wake. There was enough on offer at the bandit camp last time to tempt our poets away from each other. Kiva, the silver-tongued bandit captain, took time away from cleaning the stab wound Lemma had given her to get dear Ginny to relax a little bit. Lemma himself crept off after Soren and OrLeon, in bear form, who had a telepathic conference in the woods with the strange, frail Lorelei. Though when Lemma had attended Lorelei's funeral, she'd been called Lady Laura Vermeer. The moment he brought her back to life, she changed. And Lorelei sees that same change in Soren and OrLeon. While Soren knows at once that he was revived by his poet brother after a long-ago Shadowjack ambush, OrLeon does not remember dying, only that he somehow knew Death's true name when he met her as the laundress just a day or two ago. And then we have Evelyn, caught between the ferryman and the charming Tristan, reeling from the news that her mother was here in search of something called the Sallow Ring, and that Evelyn herself may be the chosen champion of the fourth and final Queen of Lacuna, the Queen of Daggers.
Evelyn, you sit by the fire with Tristan still watching as your friends join the Shadowjacks and drink. Most of them. You still don't see Lemma, but Ginny at least has a smile on her face. Tristan has just told you an incredible story.
It lasted at least an hour.
How's Evelyn doing right now? What's her...
She's in a bad way. She's just had this giant information dump of more responsibility and choices to make and dilemmas, and also feels very separate and apart from her friends and party right now, and has learned about that her mother is just not exactly the person that she always imagined that she was. Things are sort of slotting into place in ways that she never expected, and it's foundation shaking.
Tell me more about that in terms of your mother. Is this worse?
The idea that her mom hired someone to steal something from her own conjuries is beyond the pale. That is not. Her parents have always been harmless, and this is not that, for as far as Evelyn is concerned. So that is It was one thing to learn that she had gone off and had this adventure with Tristan, but to hear that there was plotting behind it and there was purpose, it's really, Evelyn's not close to that many people, and the two people in the whole world that she was closest to, for one of them to turn out not to be the person that she thought she was, it's a lot.
Tristan goes back and forth between watching the group across camp and turning to look at you. There's a bit of an aspect of trying to figure you out as well. But as you have already gleaned, he's a person who makes a living on not prying, or at least not making a show of prying. He says, "So, what exactly..." And he pauses to pick the right words. "You and your friends, I gotta confess, I'm not clear what your whole deal is with Kiva and the Jacks."
Well, they attacked us on the road, and we defended ourselves, and then it turned out perhaps they were looking for us, and then we all got in the carts and came back here. That's the deal, as far as I know.
So you're
we're not prisoners.
No, I was
Don't
gonna
say that, because we really, showed ourselves for the capable people that we are,
Capable.
and we, so no. What was the question?
And he smiles a little. Wasn't exactly a question yet, I suppose. Just, I was going to say, you guys seem to have the free reign, free run of the place.
The upper hand?
Sure.
Yes, I think we do.
I mean, no, that...
She stands up for literally no reason.
He looks up at her.
I have many questions for you, sir, and I would appreciate straightforward answers and no mucking about. Do you think that you can do that?
I will certainly try. Would you... Did you want to go somewhere else? Should I...
Right.
And he kind of stands up.
It's dangerous out there. Don't sit back down. I'm
Yes,
standing.
yes, milady.
You can sit.
I'm
not a lady, and I don't know why you keep saying that. It's very confusing. There are
think
ladies
that's the
in
first
the world, and
time.
I'm
All right,
not one of them. Right.
why not?
What? Wait.
What? They're late. All right.
I have questions. You're deflecting now. Don't think I don't know.
No
that's what
mucking
you're doing.
about.
No mucking about. That's... Did you say that? I said that. I have questions now. This...
And suddenly she looks around like, oh, maybe I shouldn't scream this out in front of all these people. And she crouches.
While you do, he takes your remaining wine and moves it away from you.
She doesn't notice. She crouches down in like a full squat in front of him. All right, I'm okay.
Hello.
Where was I? Questions. Yes. This book that you got from my,
Oh, yeah.
I need to know everything about the book. What was it called? Do you still have it? Does she still have it? Did you put it back? And, where can I get one?
Oh, so... Yeah, I can tell you.
She's wavering and reaching for the cup that isn't there anymore, which she will do for about the next minute and a half.
And he does put a hand to steady her because she is crouched and reaching.
Yeah.
And so he does have a hand on her upper arm so she doesn't fall over as he is. I don't know if there's any point in you trying to read him. So
There is not. He is what he is to Evelyn right now.
the thing about the book, she doesn't have it anymore. She gave it back to me. Well, when she came back, she gave it to me. I don't know if it was for safekeeping or she didn't need it or didn't want it anymore. And then it's a little embarrassing.
Don't tell me you don't have it anymore.
Well, I work at this bookstore, and
Yes, we're going now.
and it's a rare book, and my boss, he saw it, and it's like, oh, what a cool rare book. And
Did he sell it? Are you about to tell me that he sold it?
it seems like that is the case.
Do you know who he sold it to?
I don't.
Could we find out?
Yeah.
It's really important. It's the only reason I'm asking. I know it's rude,
Yeah,
but
I mean, I didn't want to ask too many questions, but I could find out. It seems important.
yeah, it is. It's really important. It's just, well, it's really, you'll just have to trust me. It's really, really important. Can I ask you another question?
All right.
This way that you live, this thing that you do things and you go with people and you work and you do, is it lonely?
I don't think it's lonelier than anything else. I mean,
How would you know?
I see people. I actually, I talk to people a lot. I dip in and out of their lives. And honestly, if other people weren't so lonely, my tricks wouldn't work so well.
That is very, very interesting. And I would like to hear more about it. Please. I'm just going to close my eyes for just one moment.
Oh.
But if you
Okay, sit
don't
down.
mind
Maybe,
talking,
maybe sit first.
am I not sitting?
You're on your kind of heels. He tries to guide you.
She falls.
Oh, okay. All right, I've got you. Do you want?
You don't. I beg your pardon, sir. You do not have me.
I didn't.
I am fine.
You're an independent,
That's right.
non-lady person.
I mean, in the formal sense, the titular sense, I am not a lady, no. But I'm,
Oh, you mean
well,
a
you know
noble?
what I mean.
No, yes, but
Yes. No. What?
I was going to try to say something nice, Evie, but I think
That is a sign of wisdom, I think, when people are quiet and don't say anything.
Do you think that?
I think it. I don't embody it, obviously. But I do think it. I believe it. I think it's true. I could give you examples, but I'm a bit tired.
Right.
Didn't I have? Is there a? I had a cup of something. Yeah. Didn't I?
Do you want some water? I don't know if they have much. They have some water.
Is that all there is?
And he pauses, like he's not sure what counts as mucking about in this context. I could get you some ale. Some light ale.
All right. That's very nice of you.
He was probably getting the impression that she kind of wants him to go away, even just for a moment to fetch her something. And the moment he does, she lays down and closes her eyes.
What's Lemma doing? He will come back to her. He's not abandoning her unconscious on the ground. But meanwhile, what's Lemma up to?
Lemma's like sobbed everything that is to be sobbed and like fallen asleep against a tree.
All right, Lemma is MIA.
You might come back later.
Meanwhile, amongst the festivities, we have OrLeon, who, when you return in person form, you get some startled and confused reactions because you are a brand new person now to the Shadowjacks, who had only seen you in bear form. So there's a bit of a reaction of like, who's this interloper? Who's this stranger? But Kiva and Ginny are amongst them, so they quell anyone's worries. This guy's cool. Don't worry. It's the bear. Soren, as mentioned, quickly takes a drink, but as soon as he sees the look of concern on Ginny's face, he slows himself, gathers himself. Ginny, OrLeon, anything from you two?
OrLeon is reeling once again. In these days, his world, his universe, his closest relationships, and his knowledge of himself and the fate of the world and his world have all been upended. And he has, in this walk back from the woods, felt somehow both more alone in the universe than he has ever felt before, and he has always felt somewhat alone. And somehow also in his utter detachment from attachments, he feels more connected to the ground beneath his feet and the air circling around him and the branches blocking the moonlight, and the leaves growing on them, and the breathing, thinking, feeling, aching world. He knows something of himself that he has not known before, and that thing that he knows of himself transforms his sense of his place in the world, and so he feels both lost to who he was before and found to who he is now and will be. And so upon emerging from the wood and into this world of social creatures, he feels foreign, but seeing his friends, seeing the look of concern on Ginny's face, one that comes from a being whose caring nature he sees and feels and knows, and he is so grateful for that care and is reminded that what is real, what remains, is what he knows of his friends and what they know of him. Looking over and seeing Evelyn. Is she already passed out by the time he gets back from the forest? Or is she still chatting?
I think by the time you get to this, she has passed out. I feel like at this moment, Tristan is coming over looking for the weakest ale, the thing closest to water that he can find.
So, seeing Evelyn, OrLeon feels immediately two things, has two thoughts. One is, this person is so precious and vulnerable to see one's friend sleeping in this wood, in these circumstances, with the world in a state of such upheaval, to see sleep on someone one cares about in a moment when the future is so utterly uncertain. OrLeon is filled with a protective impulse. And also, in seeing her sleeping face, he thinks of this intellect and knows that if there are answers to be found, they are somewhere in there. And so he approaches the circle and he looks around at the people who are still looking uncomfortably at who he is, and he makes a sort of a bear gesture and moves his claws a bit and growls.
Big laughs. They love it. Toasts. Hey!
And he sits down and doesn't say anything because he doesn't know what to say.
I see OrLeon sit down after approaching the circle, and as a stark contrast to what seems to have happened to the rest of my friends throughout the night, I've been having a pretty good time and hanging out with the Jacks and singing songs, and apparently the common Shadowjack greeting of celebration is to kiss someone on both cheeks, and I didn't know that before. I am, and on a nickname basis with the Jacks, for sure. That's Kay, that's Big Steve over there, and so I grabbed 2 cups of wine, and I walk very casually and a little, not quite so staggery. I do have quite a hearty constitution, and I hold a cup down to him. You look like you need a drink.
OrLeon nods.
And I hand you the cup. So, was there some festivities in the woods that I wasn't invited to? You've been gone for a while. Are you okay?
OrLeon is at a loss for words. He searches That question, "Are you okay?" has always baffled him, but at the moment, it baffles more than at prior moments, and he reaches for thoughts. He stammers. He says, I'm well, it and he sort of looks at Ginny plaintively as if to say, and shrugs his shoulders and holds his hands up.
Yeah. It's been a really long day, hasn't it?
Has it only been one?
And I, heavily sit down on the log next to him. I don't know. I'm so used to the cycle of days and the seasons, and I feel like we've lived an entire season in these past few days. I didn't think we'd be here, of all places.
Where is here?
You know? I don't actually know where we are. I always know where I am. I don't know where this place is, OrLeon.
Are you okay?
Oh.
OrLeon immediately hates himself for asking the question that he hates more than any other.
Well.
You don't have to answer that.
Oh, no, it's okay. I appreciate you asking. I killed someone for the first time today. And instead of being punished for that, they've been pouring wine down my throat all night. And we've been singing, and it's very, very, very strange. And I don't know if that's good or if that's bad, but it's confusing. And I think you look confused too. Maybe not for that reason, because you didn't kill anybody. You turned into a very cuddly bear.
At the mention of Ginny's having killed someone, OrLeon is startled to recall the battle that they experienced that morning, and startled to think of the rupture that Ginny herself has gone through, and is also brought back to what he has just learned about himself. And he looks at Ginny and says, "You killed someone, but perhaps you didn't hurt them. They're not in a better place or a worse place. They're somehow still right here. But perhaps they're at peace. And I don't think there will be much peace here.
Yeah.
In the times to come.
I hope wherever they are, they're okay."
We can drink to that.
And I toast you. We clink glasses. I'm listening to the Jacks sing their songs of, memory and mourning, and I guess there's worse ways to mourn a death. Lemma didn't seem good. I worry about Lemma, OrLeon. I hope he's okay. And then I kind of shake off the, ennui that suddenly came over me. And I stand up, drain the rest of my wine. I say, I'm going back to the party. Because it seems more appropriate than wallowing in my own guilt. Good night, OrLeon. And I walk back over to the crowd.
Hey, there she is. You owe me an arm wrestle. You might have beat Kiva, but you haven't tried me.
Oh, you know what?
Everyone's lining up.
All right, let's do it. And I roll up my sleeves and hunk down on the tree stump and let's go.
we're going to cut for a moment to the forest where Lemma has fallen asleep. Lemma, you wake to a sharp kick in the leg and open your eyes to see Kiva standing above you. Her face stone. Rise and shine, Hawthorne.
Lemma, for a moment, doesn't remember that's what he's called here. So a moment of blankness, and then he's like, kind of clicks into place and hastily stands.
As he does, she has taken a step forward, so they are very close. How tall is Lemma?
Not terrible, like maybe 5'8".
She's a little bit taller than he is. I noticed you and your friends heading towards Lorelei's area of the camp. They had the decency to come back, at least. What am I going to find when I go visit her? Is she going to be upset?
Lemma kind of sees Kiva for the first time, and attention drains out of him, and he just looks at her and says, "You're protective of her."
I don't see how on earth that's an answer to the question I asked. But yes, I take care of my people. And you're suddenly aware of a dagger in her hand, just down by her leg, that you don't think was there when you woke. You don't know how lucky you are, Hawthorne. You stabbed the wrong person at the right time. I'll tell you that much. If you push your luck, it'll push back.
Lemma, sees the dagger, kind of takes stock of what's happening and laughs.
There's a hand at his throat when he laughs. What's funny? Why are you out here? The knife remains down by her side, but...
I'll tell you this. I think the story is Lorelei's to tell. I would never harm her. But it is not mine to disclose. So if you want to check on her and ask her, you are welcome to do so. She is upset in the way that remembering the past makes one upset, I think.
Would you like to do some sort of roll, too?
I guess convince her of that I'm being honest?
Yeah, to be scrutable in this moment.
So that is a 16 with fear.
16 succeeds. I will, of course, take a fear token. She says, no, you won't harm her. That I know. She releases you.
You asked why I was laughing. It's funny, she asked me the same question, if I was there to harm her. And there is perhaps no one in Lacuna who is less likely to, I think.
She takes a half step back to look you up and down. I don't expect you to be a fan of me or mine. I'm sure you're very proud to be a poet. If your whole conjuries...
Lemma laughs again.
Oh no.
I came to the conjuries unwillingly, Kiva. I think before today I would not have even acknowledged that I was one. I know I didn't.
And now?
I suppose I've been made to face the unavoidable.
Well, especially in these woods, we do have a way of running into our fates. Just think about staying useful. Do you understand?
Lemma kind of cocks his head and says, pauses a long time, apparently. And,
I think in that pause, she laughs. She says, you really do think I'm a great idiot, don't you?
No, I think you're capable and intelligent. I think what you do is the worst thing on earth.
You'll find out what I do. Why don't you go get a good night's rest, Hawthorne? We found some tents for you.
The same to you.
Very kind of you. I appreciate the concern for my well-being.
Likewise, Shadowjack.
Do you know why we're called that?
I do not.
A jack. It's a male donkey. If we get behind you, we'll fuck you right in the arse.
Lemma shrugs.
And she gestures for you to go. Night-night.
Lemma simply nods politely and walks away.
And she moves silently. She does not follow you. You can assume where she goes next. Tristan, with an oh shit, hurries back to Evie once he sees her lying on the ground and props her back up to give her a bit of the weakest ale he could find.
What's happened? Who are you? Oh, hello. I closed my eyes for just a moment and I think I fell asleep, didn't I?
They told me that there are a couple of tents. I think I will help set them up.
Oh, I can do it.
I know you can. I know, clearly you can.
I'm a very capable person.
I know.
I've never set up a tent before, but I'm sure if it's at all obvious how to do it, that I can work it out.
And he's looking around and makes a gesture to someone else, presumably a Shadowjack with a tent. In the meantime, was there anything else? Anything else?
I just wanted to ask you about the book and about my mom. Did she say anything about me?
She said she had a daughter. But
So just acknowledging the fact of my existence, but not really extrapolating upon that. Is that what you're saying?
well, we didn't. It's like I keep saying, you don't want to get too into personal matters. She didn't want me to know about you.
I mean, you're not lying, right? It's a rude question, but I have to ask because I don't know the answer. So
Maybe it's silly to say, no, I'm not lying, but
I see what you've done there. You're right. It would be silly because I don't need to explain. You understand. Yes, never mind. It was a foolish question anyway.
no, she mentioned you sort of by accident, and later I asked about you, and she got mad at me for, she shut down.
Did she do that thing with her eyebrow that she does? The thing, do you know what I mean?
I do know what
She
you
did
mean.
it. She was very angry.
She did that. I got the eyebrow more than once. That was a particularly browy moment.
Browy.
She trusted me in terms of. She trusted me a certain
She trusted
degree.
you to do your job, and that's it.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
But she didn't want me knowing about
Me.
her daughter of approximately my age, etc.
Well, that's very useful information. I can't remember your name. Tristan. No, yes, I know it now.
Very good, yes. Mind like some sort of trap.
Steel trap.
Yes.
I think there was something about tents.
Yes.
I think that it would be a good idea to go to bed now.
That's very smart. You are
I'm very smart.
all right.
Did you bring me some ale?
Yeah, you're drinking it.
Oh, sorry. No. It's terrible. I don't want it anymore. Will you please take it?
Yes, yes, I will.
All right, then. Good night, everyone.
I'm gonna walk you. May I, person, walk you to your tent so that I know you get there safely.
Isn't it right over there?
It is right over there.
Well, I can get there by myself.
All
Thank
right.
you. I'm very independent.
Oh, the name of the book. That's the thing you wanted to know.
What book? Oh, yes.
Maybe I should tell you tomorrow. I don't know if you'll
That
remember.
would be best. I'm very tired, and I'm
I'll leave you to it then.
okay.
Good night, Evie.
She stumbles up towards a tent. She trips on the way, but doesn't fall down.
I'm all right. I'm okay. Night.
Tristan is stood at a distance, pretending not to watch. Does not intervene. And then he disappears into the crowd.
Psst, Evelyn, are you in here?
Is that you?
Yeah.
Yes, I'm in here.
Okay. And I crawl into the tent after Evelyn. Are you okay? You were talking to that rude man.
He's very helpful. In fact.
Oh, good. I'm glad he was helpful because I was gonna arm wrestle him to get him to give us the information.
You should have.
Yeah,
because
I would win.
See that. Well, I'm sure there'll be another opportunity.
Okay.
He keeps things very, very close to the chest, if you know what I mean.
My nan's like that. You should meet my nan one day.
Your nan. I would very much like to meet your nan one day. I have been meaning to tell you that for a very long time. I don't know why I haven't.
Yeah. She would like you.
Do you think so? Why?
I think so. She's a very strange lady. But she knows a lot of stuff. No, that's not why. No, I didn't mean it like that, Evelyn. No, you're great. I'm very, very fond of you. No, she knows a lot of stuff, and everyone looks to her for information and knowledge, and I think you two would enjoy each other. Although you probably wouldn't make me follow so many rules,
Well, I don't know about
which is
that,
nice.
but that's very kind of you to say.
I don't know, maybe. I mean, you're not gonna make me get married, are you?
Oh, crowns! No, I would never do that. That's terrible.
Yeah, see, well, I mean, I don't know if terrible is the right word, but I don't, it's, not everybody gets it, and I don't entirely get it myself, but those are the rules, and maybe I have to abide by those. But anyway,
Surely not now, though.
no, because I'm not there.
I mean, you're a poet. You can do whatever you want.
That's kind of the problem.
Oh. How so?
Well, if you do whatever you want, you don't fall into the lines that have been plowed. You are a weed, wild. You'd be plucked.
Can you tell me something?
Mm-hmm.
What is the difference between a weed and a not weed?
A weed is unwanted. It can choke the stuff that you do want out. It kills it, and we don't want that.
Part of me suspects that this metaphor is faulty somehow, but I can't really get into it. I don't think you're a weed. I think you're very useful, and maybe they just don't understand you.
That's probably true. They love me.
I think you're a kind of plant that you put in and that isn't, like the other plants, but it's not a weed and it's useful and just does something that maybe you don't need that many other people to be able to do, and you just need one of them, or, a small number of them, and they make it.
Like a turnip?
Exactly, Ginny. You are like a turnip. I've always thought so, and I appreciate you. I appreciate you articulating it so well for me because I wasn't able to.
Oh, well, you know all the right words anyway. And I kind of like start to nuzzle into the bedroll. And I'm like, don't worry about the Shadow Jacks. I will protect you, Evelyn. I will always protect you. No one's gonna hurt you, okay?
It's like a good turnip should.
Yes. Best turnip. I'm gonna carve a turnip on my shield.
Ginny, I will look out for you as well.
Thank you. You really
In as much as I can. I'm not very good at anything, but
No, you're great at everything. You know where all of the good books are. You know all the
it's funny you should say that because there's one that I don't know where it is right now. We're gonna have to go find it, but we'll talk about it in the morning. How about that?
Okay. All right. And then we could read it to Lemma because Lemma is sad. And I don't want Lemma to be sad. And he won't ever tell me why he's sad.
At the mention of Lemma,
Oh.
Evelyn's demeanor completely shuts down.
Oh, did I say something bad? I'm so sorry, Evelyn. I didn't. Do I need to beat him up? I'll beat him up for you.
No. I'm just
Did he hurt you?
no. I truly do not know what you are referring to. I'm sorry. I don't know what just happened. I'm so tired. Perhaps it's just we should just go to sleep or something.
Okay. Well, you tell me if he did anything bad to you, because I will smack him, and I'm a good smacker.
He didn't so I don't know what you mean. No.
Sure, and I very clumsily give you a hug and pass out.
In the hug? Oh no, you're trapped under a giant fawn.
Oh yeah, God. Okay, so Ellen is trying to ease Ginny back down to the bedroll while the tears just pour out of her eyes for many reasons. And I think she kind of gets Ginny down with a thud and just falls asleep on Ginny.
We wake up snuggling. It's great.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh.
And it would be awesome if Evelyn was not didn't have a headache to rival an apocalypse.
Soren is putting together the second tent and pretending not to have heard all of that. He's like humming to block it out. They're like kind of tugging it further away. To,
Do you need me to hurt Lemma for you?
You wound up not getting trashed. You know, he had a drink or two, and then there was immediately a task put together the tents, and he was very relieved for that. So he did not punch any Shadowjacks or have to deal with his feelings too directly. So he's doing that. Lemma, you return to the main camp. OrLeon, you see Evelyn get squared away, and you know that Ginny is with her, so that all is well. Soren is managing, and you see Lemma return. You had not known that Lemma had followed you. I guess you still don't know that necessarily that he followed you. You just see him return from the woods. Unless you are being stealthy once again, Lemma.
No, I don't think Lemma's making any effort at stealth
Yeah.
right now.
On seeing Lemma, OrLeon feels a surge of warmth. He understands that what he felt with Ginny and seeing Evelyn was incomplete, and seeing Lemma come out of the woods, there is a feeling of belonging, which might be akin to something like family, which he's never really experienced in any other group before. And also is struck by the mystery that is Lemma, how he's struck by how he can have such a feeling of affection for someone and know so little about them. Anyway, he looks up and I see him and I smile and hold up a glass and raise it as if to say cheers.
Lemma notices you. Lemma looks a little different than he usually looks. First of all, like, one side is covered in dirt and pine needles. And like the imprint of sticks on half of his face. And he has this quality of, he looks tired but lightened, like a towel that's been twisted dry. And he waves at you and smiles.
OrLeon is immediately on as he sees, as the light reflects on the other side of Lemma's face, and he sees how disheveled he is. OrLeon has the feeling that there has been yet another story tonight, and he looks at the log next to him as if to say, "Come on over if you'd like," but also sort of shrugs to say, "or not."
Lemma cocks his head, nods to himself, and joins you.
Do you need a drink?
Sure.
OrLeon motions to one of the previous Shadowjacks who laughed at him and holds up his cup as if to say, "Hey, can we get another cup over here?"
And he looks a little surprised. And it's like,
I know.
Okay.
It's a little entitled.
Comes over and gives you a bottle. He like looks at the bottle and he was about to pour himself a cup, and he's like, sort of like, the bottle in my hand? All right. And comes over and just gives you his bottle, and then goes and finds another one.
Lemma takes a swig straight from the bottle.
Been a night, huh?
Yes. Yes. It has been a night for me. How has it been a night for you? I followed you. I was so concerned with what I needed to do that I was focused mostly on waiting for you to leave, but I followed you. I saw you with Lorelei. I presume something passed between you, but to me it was mostly silence. Would you like to talk about it?
Yes. OrLeon surprises himself with that answer. Yes, I would. Lorelei, I heard her voice in my head when we were sitting here at the fire before. I heard a voice in my head, and I looked and I found it was hers. I determined it was hers, and Soren was there too. Like, I have called for a voice like this before, but and so yeah, I followed her, and what you saw, she said that I had died before, that we all had died before.
You and Soren?
Yes, and Lorelei, and Soren. I don't know more than that of me or of her. I know more from Soren. That's what happened. And now it all makes sense in some way. I feel, I don't know. Why did you follow me? Why did you hide?
There was something I wanted to discuss with Lorelei that I was afraid to share with anyone. though now that seems unnecessary. I have met Lorelei before, or I saw her for a long time and met her very briefly. I saw her dead, and I saw her very briefly alive. And all of that happening is why I am here with you. I think I probably owe all of you a fuller explanation of why I have been the way I have been, although I am only beginning to understand it myself. All of that said, OrLeon, finding out that you have been dead is, for want of better words, a big thing to find out.
OrLeon laughs and raises his glass and takes a sip.
Lemma, again, takes a long pull.
What do you... What is happening?
A lot at once. And a lot of that has already happened is coming to a head.
Did you find what you needed to find from Lorelei?
Yes, I think I did. I think I mostly needed to understand what had happened, and I needed her forgiveness. And I did get that.
At this point, Lemma, you notice Kiva return to camp. She looks at you from across the clearing. There was almost an intention to nod, though she does not, in fact, nod. But as a reader of people and someone who knows what it is to be inscrutable, I won't make you roll to know that she has been satisfied that your time with Lorelei was welcome.
Lemma almost nods back.
She doesn't rejoin the festivities. She goes off, presumably to her own tent.
Were you the cause of what you saw with Lorelei?
Yes. I was taught in my community always to accept, always to be at peace with what would happen and what had happened. And I faced a moment when I could not accept, and I did something without meaning to. I do not know if I could do it again, but I did it then, and I didn't understand what had happened. And then I was expelled into another world. And when you met me, that was the path I had followed.
Was it easy for her to forgive you?
I don't think she saw the need. I think she was surprised that I would ask. She was worried that I would harm her. I don't know why. Maybe she thought that I was somehow there to correct the mistake of her being, but I hope I put her mind at ease about that. I did something without meaning to another person, without knowing that they wanted it, and without knowing, really, that it was a good thing, OrLeon. I don't know what it means to return. Perhaps you do better than I.
I don't know what it means. I don't yet even know how it happened. I will. But I think there may be more passing through than we ever imagined. I think maybe going and coming are simply two parts of the same path, and maybe one can travel on it, and one does travel on it through all eternity, in both directions.
As OrLeon is speaking, Lemma, eyes fixed on him, is filling his cup.
OrLeon feels seen and feels a tinge of embarrassment as he is reminded of his presumption in summoning a bottle from a Shadowjack. And
Hey, they're your prisoners, remember?
He looks at Lemma and continues just to say, I do know that when you just spoke and you said the word mistake, that might be something about that word didn't sit right. I don't know that what you did was a mistake, especially if it brought you here with all of us, which seems like where we should all be.
Lemma is visibly moved and reaches out the bottle and clinks OrLeon's cup. And it seems like we drink companionably for a while.
The sky in Lacuna has no stars. You've heard of them, that maybe there once were points of light in the night sky. The sky you know has a different kind of beauty, streaks of color behind the gray and black and blue, some sort of refraction by the ward. As you sit there with the fire crackling and the sounds of the Shadowjacks fading into a background hum, the colors in the sky, the streaks of orange and green, and still a bit of that foreboding red that you know is not resolved. Your problems have not disappeared for no reason, but somehow amongst these bandits of shadow, you have a moment with each other. Eventually you make your way to sleep as well. And that night, as you sleep, you each experience something strange. You have something called a dream, which is not a common experience in Lacuna, even for poets. OrLeon, it's a little bit different for you. Sleep is often a place that you and Cosmene would meet, commune, talk. But that's not what you experience exactly. What you see as you enter into this space is indeed Cosmene, but you are in a specific location, or a version of it. The bay near your childhood home, suppose, where you and Cosmene first met. She's not under the water. She's not your reflection. She stands on top of the water, the perfectly still surface like glass, distant from you. You almost wonder if you would be able to hear her if she spoke. When she does, you do hear her. But it's not her voice you hear, as a breeze you cannot feel rustles her hair. It is Lorelai's voice that comes out of her mouth. Is there anything you'd like to stop forgetting? You can if you wish.
OrLeon, without hesitation, without thought, without deliberation, says, yes.
Suddenly, in a blink, you see not Cosmene, but Lorelai. And it is now Cosmene's voice in which she speaks. You know that Glory, we wouldn't exist without her, but we're not her, OrLeon. She didn't make us. We made us. She takes a step closer to you, and the water of the previously still bay splashes up into a wall and falls down again. You see neither Cosmene nor Lorelai, but the great shadow woman from your vision in the forest. And it takes you a second to place the voice. It is Primer Mantua who speaks to you next. You have done far more than you realize, OrLeon. You can do. You are here to do. The water rears up again, obscuring, and when it falls, Cosmene is in front of you. She smiles at you. You're so powerful. Does that bother you?
OrLeon, His body is shaking, trembling, as if from fear, but not. And it doesn't start.
Where does a circle start, OrLeon? With me or with you?
A circle doesn't start, it doesn't end or begin. A circle has no creation. Are you there? Do you hear me?
And she reaches out to touch your face, and you feel water.
I want to reach my hand in the water, but I'm afraid if I do, the image will disappear and I will lose my connection to her.
Suddenly she is made of water, and as she touches you, she dissipates like water into the bay. You are looking at her as you remember looking at her the first time, in lieu of your own reflection. Her face is panicked. Her mouth opens to respond, and bubbles, gurgles escape. You see her struggle against something. She is drowning.
Can I make an intuition roll to ask my intuition?
Absolutely.
Oh, I guess... Can I use Fungril Network in a dream? I could try.
If you spend a hope, you could just succeed on this one.
Okay, the question is, can one dive through the water?
And you're asking, are you specifically asking Cosmene?
I could ask, oh yes, I'll ask her. That's a better idea. You have to ask someone specific. It's not out. Okay, see, this I wasn't sure because Lorelei spoke to both me and to Soren at the same time, so I wasn't sure if that was.
Yeah, you do have to ask someone specific.
Okay.
Sorry, you can speak to more, but she chose the two of you specifically. You know, she didn't just put it out into the void. You know.
Okay, so I'm in dialogue with. This is a closed circuit. Okay, so then I will ask her. Can I dive through the water to help you?
You actually don't hear back words, but you know the answer. Something is not, it's not working the way it does in waking life, but the answer you get back in your knowledge, you suddenly know if you do not reach for her, she will die. And if you do, you will die.
At first, I think I can't. I'm needed here. Or am I a coward? I don't know the answer. I think of what I now know, which is that I have been there before. Dreams are so rare in this world. OrLeon knew that his having a life in dreams was one thing that made his life out of dreams, where it was gray, where colors just weren't quite so bright, where everything cast no shadow. It was his life in dreams that made his life out of dreams bearable. And he had not dreamed, and he feared, with Cosmene now embodied somewhere closer to his world. He feared he would never dream again. And though he did not believe in reason, causality, he somehow, without even being able to explain it to himself, believed in fate. And so if this choice was given him to make, it would be given to him to make only once. There was no choice. He reached his hand into the water.
You feel another grasp yours, and it is a feeling like light and cold. Something is being given and taken at the same time in a way that is completely overwhelming. It is a self-embrace, so tight it asphyxiates. And there's a gentle tug, and you fall forward through the surface of the water, and then you are gently falling through an empty sky, through pleasant void. Bay is gone, Cosmene is gone. You land neatly on your feet before a mirror. Soren and Lorelei sit and regard you, and when you look in the mirror, you see Lemma. I wonder what he looks like to you in this moment.
Looks like a pure distillation of himself. His eyes look seeing. He is himself, and he is pure spirit.
At first, he moves as you move, as a reflection should, and then no obvious trigger. The movements change. This reflection takes a different path. But then the Lemma in the mirror catches sight of you. Not just a reflection, but an intelligence. Recognizes you. And he says, "Oh, my poor dear boy. There's no need to be so upset. But you know, fate cannot enact itself. Don't you remember what I told you? When you come to a fork in the road, you pick it up." And the image in the mirror dissolves, and you see simply yourself. And Soren and Lorelei give a little bit of applause, which is what you hear as you awake. No, just a bird flapping its wings right outside the tent.
I would like to... I'm awake?
Yes.
I would like to use... which one is it? Nature's Tongue. To ask that bird what she just saw that made her call. So that's... I have to make an instinct roll? Oh. I got a 4 with hope.
With hope? All right. Then
Hope
what
is
you-
indeed the thing with feathers.
Do I get a wait? Do I get a hope?
You take a
Okay.
hope, and you hear, "Motherfucker, bring me back that worm I saw it first! Get back over there! My worm, my worm! My tents! My ground! I'll peck you, I'll peck! Come here, I'll peck! Come here for peck!" Oh, worm. And you're gonna hear that for an hour.
OrLeon. For I think it's the third time in this campaign, finds nothing to do but laugh. And until something else happens, lies on his back and listens to the bird and grows deeply invested in her pursuit of breakfast.
We'll move on from OrLeon now. Lemma,
Hi.
you are about to encounter someone you've met before but don't know well. I wonder where you think this will be. What setting do you think Lemma's dream brings him to?
That's a great question. Lemma's known so many places, but also so few, in a sense. I think if it were the kind of place he's been the most, it would be sort of a quiet, off to the side place in a small town.
So we're in a small town. I think not one where anything momentous happened. Not the one, I'm gathering, not the one where that we talked about before, where the Zephyr Court scared the Elgis off or anything like that. Maybe one that just felt sort of easy, familiar, that was much like others. Does that sound right?
Yeah.
And you're by a small well. Oh, if you were allowed to read books, what a great place this would be for it. As it is, you're there with your thoughts, and you're not alone. Sitting around the other side of the well, 3 o'clock to your 7, is a man in a long patchwork coat with a big sack at his feet. The Rain Queen's courtier who gave you only the peddler as his name. He looks at you, his head cocked. He clearly recognizes you, but is not sure what he's doing here or you are, though he doesn't look too alarmed. Oh yes, I remember you. I don't think I've got anything for you in my sack, though. How are you doing, young man?
Lemma's never dreamed before. This isn't a thing that happens, right?
Correct.
Lemma's suspicious. He just politely inclines his head and waits for this stranger to expand.
He's looking around a bit as though you almost get the sense he's sort of mentally poking at things. You'll have to forgive me. I don't have the best memory on a good day, and I don't know if the past few days have been good. Sometimes I just sort of wind up places. This feels a little bit different. And he looks at his sack and looks at you again. Are you in the market for some trinkets?
I don't know.
I don't think so. The Rain Queen already gave you something that you're... And he squints. You're already holding on to something that could break someone's heart. Probably don't need... Well, I don't like to say that people don't need interference from me, but you might be the first that I just don't meddle with.
Lemma has no idea what to do with this, but he does hook on to, you said I have something that could hurt someone. What do you mean?
And he waves his hand up in a flourish, and then in his other hand, that you weren't watching, your crystal teardrop hope is between his thumb and index finger. This one seems awfully weighty. You've been lugging it around a while. I just got the feeling that there's someone who would cry a river if they knew this was your hope. Haven't yet figured out why, but things come to me sort of backwards sometimes. I get the emotion first. Sometimes I get the reason, but that's less interesting to me. I've got less of a head for it. Reason.
To be completely open with you, sir, I don't much care for you poking around in my head.
Sorry, I thought I made clear. I'm not in your head. I have no interest in your head. We can agree there.
Then where are we?
Oh, boy. No guesses, even? It's head or nothing?
Lemma's in a different place than he was over the past several days now, but he is, at this, annoyed. And he says, do I get points for a guess?
I think you would. I think...
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, if there are points on the line, I imagine this has something to do with the ward.
Oh, no. Negative.
I lose points?
You lose points,
Well,
yeah. I mean, you get points for making a guess, I suppose, but that answer's wrong. Everything's to do with the ward in a way. I guess you used the ward to summon me here, but it's not head versus ward. No, son. I'll give you a hint. I said it already. That it would break someone's
heart.
Ward, knee, concentration. What was that you said?
Heart.
Yes, heart. Very good. There are a lot of ways to have a heart, a lot of ways to break one. But Seems like it's something you'd rather not think about.
Do you visit Random Hearts with your sack of trinkets often?
That's never heard it put quite that way. It sounds a little anatomical, but I suppose, yeah. Well, often they visit me. You know, we cross paths, and I sell people things they didn't know they needed. Very fair prices, and he does nudge his sack with his foot and obligingly, but it seems like beat up junk, but you can't deny that certain things have just a little bit of an unexpected sparkle. The right bit of junk could change your life. You never know.
Well, we're here, and I don't seem to be doing anything else. So, why don't we take a look?
It's not free. Do you have something you'd be willing to part with?
To look?
Well, are you just a looky-loo? You're going to paw through all of it without any money at all? Or you don't have to pay to look, but I want to know that you got something.
Lemma is just deeply confused by his behavior in this interaction, by this person, by what's happening, by this environment that feels familiar but also non-specific. He kind of pats... Lemma pats himself. He, searches his pockets, if he has any, pouches on his belts.
And the peddler's just still holding up the crystal teardrop.
As though that is the thing that I could give in trade?
It's certainly a thing.
And I think Lemma finally understands what is being proposed. And he says, I think you've misunderstood me.
Oh, certainly.
I was never certain I wanted that in the first place. And I think, although I have been wrong about many things, one thing that I have been right about is that it is wrong to erase pain.
I'm glad to hear you say all that. Just, as a salesman, let me tell you, people are often reluctant to part with things they're not sure they want. It affects negotiations far less than you'd expect.
Well,
especially if it's just something that they're used to having.
It's yours.
He crushes it in his hand, and rainbow drops float upwards and dissipate. You feel the stabbing of crystal shards in your heart, the loss of your past life, and the flood of possibilities. The trinkets on the ground sparkle anew. You understand them to be different kinds of very powerful. What do you think Lemma would look for in this sack?
I don't know. I think Lemma deeply mistrusts this figure. And deeply mistrusts the concept of trade.
Is there any kind of role you'd like to make?
Sure.
By the way, ironically, take a hope for crushing your hope.
So I've got 5 hope. Great. So I guess...
When you start using your powers, I'm so screwed.
So I guess I want to understand my instinct, and I'm in a space where I'm now questioning my instincts. My instinct is to view this person as untrustworthy. So I'd like to, I guess, use an insight roll to interrogate that.
Please do.
That is a 17 with hope.
Take another hope, and now you're at max, I believe.
I am.
Define trustworthy.
Well...
I'm not dodging. You succeeded. I want to know... Because no, he's not, but also he...
Right.
Is.
So I guess 2 things. So
he would tell you, no, I'm not trustworthy.
I guess trustworthy in the sense of, is he clearly stating the terms, or are there catches? And second, what is the nature of this exchange? Am I being sold something, or am I being gifted something? I guess is it a thing? I think there's something that Lemma hates about the idea of altering his hope for a thing.
Because you have surrendered your hope, that was the price, just that you give something.
Yeah.
And you don't know if he was after that specific thing or if he just wanted something that signaled an emotional movement,
Right.
something meaningful. Now you get to pick an object. You're going to describe to me a piece of junk, and you're going to describe if unless you wake yourself up right now. The junk is not the thing. It will have a magical gift attached to it that is emotional, that is love related. Not necessarily romantic love, though you gather that that's a large part of what he does. This is a sort of a benevolent trickster type. It's not a monkey's paw situation. From most people's point of view, Lemma's not most people. And Lemma senses that he has some control here, perhaps because of the setting, more so than most people do who encounter the peddler. That stories featuring the peddler are often people buy something and then they have no idea they're buying something magical, and then magical things happen. But you know more, and so there's an aspect of choice being offered.
Lemma is attracted to the idea of taking nothing. That's the shape of interactions that feels right to him, to give something up and ask nothing in return. And as he's about to voice that, he spies something kind of spilling out of the sack. A small book with a tattered cover, almost slipping off, worn, and with a faded title in gold leaf. Barely visible are the words Penelope Belvedere. And he's almost about to say, I ask nothing, and he sees that, and the breath catches in his throat.
The peddler sees where your gaze has landed, and he fishes the book out from where it had just been poking out of the sack. He says, "Oh, yes, this one. I almost forgot I had this. I've been carrying it around a while. You've got a fine eye for literature, young man. I hope it opens up new possibilities."
Almost without meaning to, Lemma reaches out and brushes his fingers across the cover.
Is it paper? Is it beat up leather?
It's like those, this is not a metaphor that Lemma can use, but you know those like really old, kind of small volumes of Shakespeare where it's kind of a fabric binding that gets really like rough and threadbare with age and use? That's what we're talking about.
Perfect. It shivers, like tickled. It's very excited that it's going to be read after being in this sack so long.
And realizing that, suddenly everything changes for Lemma. He no longer understands this as a story of someone being tempted and maybe exploited. He understands this as a story of attention being paid, of a story being left uncared for and finally being brought to light. And he almost reverently takes the book.
As both of your hands touch it, the binding becomes whole, becomes a beautiful velvety hardcover.
Lemma opens it.
As you do, you realize you are now alone. Peddler is gone. The words are scrambly. You are having trouble reading. As you focus, you hear OrLeon laugh, and you wake up.
Lemma searches in his bag for his book.
We'll resolve that shortly. Ginny, you find yourself outside your Nan's house. Could you describe it for us, please?
It's an old, worn farmhouse. It's probably been there for 100 years. For lack of a better metaphor, the house of Theseus. Pieces of it have been replaced over and over again. It's pale yellow, and there's a big wraparound porch and a small bench that sits outside. And I've spent a lot of times just sitting on that bench, waiting for whomever Nana's giving some sort of counsel to be finished so I could go in.
And you hear, "Much appreciated, ma'am. Till next time." And then stepping out of your Nan's as a woman you've never met or seen, and you recognize instantly that anyone in Lacuna would recognize instantly. She is perhaps the most iconic hero in all of Lacuna's history, folklore. She is the plowshare, the first poet. She is Mariana the Shield. She looks 17 years old, but you know that she's looked 17 years old for hundreds of years, maybe 1,000. It's said that she transcended humanity and serves the Queen of Heroes to this day. And you recognize her because she bears the relics of her famous stories. The shield from this story, the cape from that story. Could you describe one of your favorite items from one of your favorite stories of Mariana?
Well, Ginny being Ginny, I see her shield and so many arrows and swords and weapons of war and banditry have bounced off of that shield as she uses it to protect not only herself but her allies at her side. And it should be battered. It should be completely worn and unusable and honestly on a shelf somewhere gathering dust. Yet it still gleams like the day it was hammered into shape. And no matter what happens, no matter what Mariana faces, that shield will hold.
She looks at you with recognition and then shakes her head. You know, I had hoped that just this once Her Majesty would be wrong, that I wouldn't be able to do this, but here we are. The ward is increasing our powers, which useful but worrying. Would you sit with me, Genevieve?
Yes, ma'am.
She gestures towards that low stone wall that runs past your Nan's house along the hillside.
I hop up onto the wall.
You hear the clank of her greaves. She sits. She looks at you with her brown eyes, her brown hair tucked back. She looks thoughtful, serious, confident, calm, ready. So many of the things your Nan wants people to be.
I feel none of those things right now.
Her Majesty, the Queen of Heroes, has been made aware.
Am I in trouble?
In trouble? For resisting Glory, the Queen of Bones? For standing up against her? Refusing her influence? Genevieve, do you know how strong you are? How important you are right now?
No, I don't.
That's probably good. Heroes don't usually.
I don't feel particularly heroic. We released something that we probably shouldn't have.
Well, you haven't saved the realm yet. But I can't imagine who would be more equipped than the girl who faced down Glory and said no. The Queen does trust you. She believes in you. But she's reluctant to give you instruction.
Why? Being idle is terrible.
Her sister tried to give your friend instruction. Did she not?
So I pause here. I don't want Lemma to be in trouble.
I know the answer. You don't have to reveal anything, it's revealed. They talk to each other and they know things.
I just nod. I'm like, of course they know things. They're the queens.
We suspect your friends might have all been apprised. No one is in trouble. They understand that young people are... Well, that's another reason not to give you direct instructions, isn't it? And in her unfathomable wisdom, Her Majesty the Queen of Harrows wants to simply give you resources. To trust your will.
Okay.
The Rain Queen's instructions, her moves are short term. She, by her nature, she does not act several steps ahead. I don't know that her plan is impossible now, but it was designed to happen immediately. Most people obey the Queen swiftly. There could still be a way to use that tool but we don't know. When you wake, you will have help. You will have more resources. Your friends may have received some things as well. It's not as easy to... You have a very strong connection to our queen.
Is that good?
Why would it not be good?
I pause here, kind of pulling up, trying to figure out what to say and what not to say to this hero, someone that Ginny had learned about her whole life from different books and stories. This town loves the Queen of Harrows, as we should. But they are afraid of me, and perhaps being more connected to the Queen might make them more afraid.
Ha! Her laugh is like a bark. Oh, if they could only meet the Queen of Harrows, they would be terrified of her. I understand what you're saying. She represents things that people think are simple. I think you've learned by now about what is often called the heresy of hope.
Yes, ma'am.
She thinks a moment. She's making a decision to open up a topic that's difficult for her, or difficult for others. It is true that our queens did not like being called the Queens of Hope for various reasons. One of them being mortal language flattens out so much. Hope sounds good, and what they know to be fear. But it's not just that. There's... Rain is a queen of chance, and Harrows is a queen of something else that is hard to put into one word without people misunderstanding it. What to you do you think is the opposite of chance? There's not one right answer.
Certainty?
No, she's rebelled against that, because the queens made people. People do not have certainty, but they make lives in spite of that.
They work towards their end goal rather than leaving it up to chance.
Yes. They try. They want meaning and a word that sounds very nice to people, which is choice. But it's not always... There's a lot in that word that is not nice. That's why they don't want those titles. That's why they are Harrows and Rain. That to them says who they are. Do you understand?
I think so, ma'am. Yes.
Your people have chosen a version of what Harrows is. Your rejection of that version, or the other way around, does not mean you must reject the Queen. The Queen is so much more than that, and she loves her creations.
I just nod silently, and I am terrified.
Choice is a great burden, but there is a freedom as well, Genevieve, if that's what you're seeking. Perhaps we'll meet again in person, but I'm glad I got to visit your hometown. And she stands and gives you a bow, a very militaristic bow.
I stand and do the same.
When we do, I hope to hear stories of your heroic feats.
Thank you, ma'am. And thank you for visiting. I hope you enjoyed your stay here.
You're an excellent host.
I smile kind of weakly at that, but very appreciatively.
She turns on her heel and walks down the hill, down the path, and as she recedes from view, you awake. Your face buried in the small of Evelyn's back, perhaps. All of your clothes on.
I do see that I am nuzzled into Evelyn, and Evelyn doesn't seem to mind. My arm is underneath her, and I can still feel my fingertips, which is nice. But I also very, very carefully, without trying to wake her, because that would be very rude, I slide my arm out from under her and slowly sit up. We were bent in a weird position. Her top half is almost folded over my leg. So I sit up and I look down at Evelyn, who looks to be sleeping pretty soundly for someone who had a hard day. And I just grab the blanket next to me and I throw it over her and wait for her to wake up.
You grab the blanket next to you, and it reveals something. What do you think I'm going to say it reveals?
Oh God, I have no idea.
I'll just tell you then. You pick up the blanket next to you to throw it over Evelyn to discover the shield of Mariana. The unmistakable shield.
And I just look down at it. I think part of me didn't even realize that I was actually in a dream because it's not something that really happens. And then I'm no longer at home. And I'm looking down at this thing that I've heard about my whole life and just run my finger across the edge in reverence and wait for Evelyn to wake up.
Evelyn, you are asleep, and you find yourself at a crossroads. Crossroads you saw in an oil-type painting days ago, in the rain, dimly lit by lantern, where there should be a serpentine woman with sword stabbed through her, howling up at the sky. She is not there. That probably doesn't surprise Evelyn too much.
She's free now.
You know she is out and about. What is Evelyn's first instinct at this crossroads?
She goes to the other half of the statue, the hooded half, and tries to see what's underneath it.
You peer under the hood, and two gray eyes open. You get a wink. Fancy meeting you here.
That's such Wizard of Oz vibes. She starts back when the statue winks at her.
And the ferryman, the Lord of Iron, however you come to think of him, hops down from under this, essentially a cloak of statue-ness, and becomes himself.
Hello.
Hello, dear. I do have an affinity for crossed paths, choices, or the appearance thereof.
So do I, it seems.
Yes. My expressive daughter out in the world.
I really don't know what to do. And I feel like maybe you're tricking me or appealing to my ego to get what you want. And
Well, you're very clever. But what is it you think I want?
want to free your daughter.
Well, I do. That's correct. But I don't see how it's a trick when I've said that to you explicitly.
But that doesn't make it the right thing to do.
Oh, I see.
No, I don't think you're lying about what you want. don't know if it's the best thing to do, the right thing to do, or the thing I want to do, and I don't really have enough information. It's stupid to make decisions without enough information. That's folly.
Well, it's less than ideal, certainly, but it's...
Because you see, what happens is you decide you want to do something and you don't have enough information to back it up. So you start making the information to justify what you're doing, and instead of the other way around. And well, that's insensible.
In many circumstances, it is also stupid to refuse to make a decision.
Well, refusing to make a decision is making a decision.
Because you think the information will present itself. Very good. I'd like to get you across a chessboard someday.
Well, I can only promise you, I take my time making moves.
Time is a bit different for me than for most of your opponents. I have patience.
I hope that's so, because I have leads and I intend to follow them.
Oh.
I need to know if we're adversaries. If I don't do what you want, what you will do in response.
I've no intention to harm you, if that's what you're asking. No. I don't quite know what will happen. If we just go along as we are, I'll have to... Oh dear.
Well, of the options I have, going along as we are is at the bottom of the list. You must know there are other interested parties in this matter who have different ideas about what should be done.
What are their ideas? Oh, do you mean Rain? That traitor? You imagine doing that to your love? Someone you'd pledged your heart to?
No, I can't, but I don't have the whole story, do I?
Yes, you do. What do you think you're missing?
Well, I don't have her point of view.
Very well. If your plan is to just delay until you've conducted interviews, I shall perhaps have to consult others. And there's a strange interruption in his speech. He glitches.
This is what I was referring to. This is retribution if I don't do what you want on your timeline. This is what I'm saying.
There's a loud sound as he's trying to speak.
Are you trying to tell me something you're not supposed to tell me again? Don't do that.
And he catches fire, though he does not seem to be aware of it.
Evelyn tries to use prestidigitation to create water to put him out. I don't think it's not that powerful a spell, but that's all she has at the moment.
And as you do this, you see that he still seems to believe that he is talking to you, though you can't hear him over the crackling of, like a campfire sound, even though he is not a campfire. He crumbles into ash, and you smell burning all around you.
I look around me. Am I on fire?
You're not on fire. You feel very safe.
Is the crossroads on fire?
Not where you are, but you have this feeling that there is an area around the crossroads you cannot see that is on fire.
I think Evelyn has worked out that this is what is known as a dream. And her first thought is, Ginny. And she wakes herself up believing that the tent they fell asleep in is on fire.
There's a blanket on you, and you see Ginny staring at something, staring at a shield.
Evelyn immediately winces from the incredible hangover that she has woken up with.
Oh,
And pushes herself up, looking at the blanket, like, is this why I felt like I was on fire? Is this it? Was it? And she's looking around.
I'm sorry. I didn't want you to catch cold. I didn't mean to startle you.
No. You. Oh my goodness. No, it wasn't you.
Are you okay?
No, it's very bright. It's here and so loud.
The flap of your tent is flung open. All right, you ready then? We want to hit the road before it's too bright.
Oh, no. No, I need to speak to my companions before we do anything.
Yes, you wake up the boys, and I'll get the last of the provisions. Here, you'll want these. And she tosses you a couple of bandanas, basically. You won't need them right now, but just before I forget.
Thanks.
Thank you.
And she's gone.
We should get the others. This is something very, very. I have some new information. We need to talk.
I look down at the shield, and
Oh, what is that?
I don't. I had a dream.
I'm gonna move. Boys, you hear outside your tent. All right, I told the girls to come get you, but I don't see them. So get the fuck out of bed. We're going. And she is waiting for you on the edge of camp.
Lemma looks at OrLeon and deadpans, get the fuck out of bed, we're going.
I pack up whatever things I have to the extent that I can. Should we?
Lemma, I will say that you don't find a book, but you do notice that you also don't find the Hope Crystal. And though you don't find the book, you have sort of a feeling of expectation. Like you haven't found the book yet.
Okay.
Though you don't know what that means.
Great. Lemma leaves with OrLeon, but is sort of like peering around him with a sort of vague sense of anticipation.
You see Lorelei watching from the edge.
Little wave.
She gives a little wave as well, but she withdraws as though afraid of, not sure what, perhaps interrupting, perhaps engaging in front of others, or perhaps something else. She's skittish.
Lemma doesn't push it.
Kiva's looking at you. All right. Soren's not coming with, I suppose? That's fine.
No, he's not.
And Kiva looks not surprised, though she also looks very focused on other matters. Look, all right, let's go by foot. It's a bit of a walk, but we've got time.
Can we walk separately from whoever is accompanying us?
Yeah, it's just the four of you and Kiva.
Okay. Well, I'm sorry, Kiva. It's very kind of you to accompany us, but I need to speak to my friends in private. Do you mind walking ahead where we can still see you to follow?
All right, it's a hell of a view you're asking for, but I'll oblige you.
Thank you.
And she awkwardly, dutifully walks ahead, gives you a bit of a hip swish, just once or twice.
It's not unappreciated, but boy, do I have a hangover. Listen, there's something I have to tell all of you. A situation has changed. Our circumstances are slightly different than they were before yesterday, and we have other options now.
Like what?
So, I've spoken to the Lord of Iron, and he posits that freeing the fourth queen, as yet unnamed, might set glory to rights, if that makes any sense, and is in fact another option instead of putting everything back the way it was when the Queens of Rain and Harrows imprisoned Glory and her sister, but putting it back well before that to when no one was imprisoned and there was just a war, and that seems to be another choice that we have. So what does everyone think?
I look over at Lemma and say they know. They know that we didn't do that what Rains asked you to do. Harrows knows.
Lemma nods and says, that doesn't surprise me, as it was a short walk away and it's been a day, so I guess it was inevitable that our absence would be noted. So we all dream.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, yes. Did I skip that part? Yes.
I don't think you did. I'm merely calling attention to that fact.
I woke up with this next to me, and I pull the big shiny shield off of my back. This is Mariana's shield. The hero Mariana, who was in my dream. She gave me her shield. I don't know how or why. She said that we would have help and that we would all receive help. But I think most of us are just confused.
Did anyone else receive something in their dream?
I received something in the dream, but it did not appear next to me in the morning.
What was it?
A book.
Was it a good book?
I think so. I haven't had a chance to read it yet. I was visited by the peddler.
From the Zephyr Court.
Yes.
And he gave you a book?
Yes.
Did he say anything about Rains being angry with us?
No, he was exasperating. He indicated that he knew much of us. He did not offer any warning or threat. I think he did essentially what he always does.
Be frustrating and vague?
Yes.
Peddle.
Yes. Offer exchange.
Did you make an exchange?
Yes, I did.
What did you trade?
That's none of our business.
Well, it might be if it's relevant.
I gave him a forlorn hope.
Did it hurt?
Yes. Yes, it hurt very badly, but I wasn't using it anymore.
I'm sorry.
No, that's all right. That's all right. Sometimes things that hurt are best dealt with head on.
I nod very knowingly at that.
Well, was there anything useful about the book?
I don't know. I didn't choose it because it was useful.
Why did you choose it?
When you say that, you feel a weight in your pocket.
I reach in.
You feel a velvety hardcover. Penelope Belvedere, the spine says in gilded letters.
I draw it out.
Is that it? I thought you said you didn't have it.
I didn't. I open it.
You see the first pages of this novel. What do you feel?
I feel this sense of like lighthearted gratitude. This isn't something that I deserved or need or is going to be useful. It feels like it appeared randomly. It feels like a spontaneous gift, and I feel glad for it. I run my hand across the pages.
So you run your hand over opening words. Penelope took refuge in the garden, as she always did when her uncle came to visit. The different colors of the flowers. She spoke in her head, by name, one by one. And as you read just that and close the book, as everyone's looking at you, you get a very clear image of that garden, of those flowers. And the shards in your heart, you feel them too. But the pain of each one suddenly represents a possibility, a new possibility, as though each shard is creating space for something new. Maybe it will grow into a flower.
Lemma slips the book back in his pocket and says, well, I'm looking forward to reading that later.
Everything all right back there? And Kiva's stopped. Felix actually a little bit concerned about everyone. She's not being quite as sassy as usual. She's kind of scanning the area to make sure, for danger.
I say, we're fine. We're taking care of Evie's hangover.
Don't any of you have any poetry for that or something?
I look at Evelyn and the warm feeling in my arm that I felt a day before when I reached out and touched OrLeon's fur for the first time creeps back up my arm, and I grab Evelyn's hand and I use sparing touch. And you feel better because I've cleared stress from you.
Evelyn only seems to notice this after the fact. Oh, thank you.
For what?
Never mind. We should keep going and keep talking. We have decisions to make.
All right, well, Evie, let me know when I can borrow you, because there is something I want to talk about with you. And she continues.
I had a dream too. It's too much to understand, and all I know that I was given in my dream was a choice. And I made it, and I didn't expect still to be here.
Do you mean you thought you would... Oh.
Yes,
Well, I'm glad you're here.
OrLeon nods his head. I don't know what it means, but I think you should all know that happened.
OrLeon, may I ask you something?
Yes.
Do you know the nature of your connection with Glory?
And OrLeon remembers what Casmene said in the dream, and he says, in some way, I think she made me.
Yes, I think so too. I think all of us were made by one of the queens.
Mariana did say in her very strange and vague way, all these people are very vague. She seemed to imply that Harrow's made me. Did someone make you, Evelyn?
I have been told I was chosen, if that is comparable. They are as yet unnamed queen. And of course, Lemma spoke with Rains. Personally, I don't think it's any accident that all four of us found each other. But in some respects, it does put us at odds with one another. Or at least it threatens to. I don't believe it has to.
Well, I already promised to protect you.
At this point, Evelyn is going to tell the story of Fortune and Glory.
Wait, so Harrow's did nothing?
According to the ferryman, I suppose he could be misleading me or not telling the whole story. He's a bit vague, just like all the rest of them. But I don't think he did, for what it's worth. Though my dream ended very strangely and everything was on fire, although when I woke up, nothing was on fire, and I don't know what happened there.
And I get very quiet and thinking about Harrow's doing nothing, which goes against everything I'd ever been taught in my life. Doing nothing is a horrible way to live.
The ferryman spoke to me. He's spoken to me twice now, once in my dream and once in Carmela. And he seems to want me to continue down whatever path I seem to be on, which I don't know which queen to swear by anymore, so I'll just say which I don't know what it is. Which by all the queens, I don't know what path that is.
Yes, the Lord, he refers to Glory as his daughter, and to the Queen of Daggers as his daughter. So it makes sense that he
Yes.
spoke to you.
What did Casmene say her relation was with Glory?
Aunt Glory.
Aunt Glory.
In my dream, she said, no, it's not that Glory made us, it's that we made each other, but not without her.
Lemma, could you make some kind of roll
I would love
to figure something out or know something or...
to. Probably a knowledge roll.
Yeah.
I rolled double ones, which is a crit.
Wow. Okay. You are thinking about the moment. Your moment. When you reached out with a hand of fire and created a new word and brought Lorelei back to life. Did the Queen of Rain do that? Did she create Lorelei? Or whatever force gave you this power? Did you do it intentionally? That's not how it felt. It was a singular moment that could only have happened because an infinite number of other moments had fallen into place exactly. It was a burst of need. And you think what you're hearing from OrLeon is that he, Casmene, and even Glory herself experienced this strange, beautiful cosmic accident in which this imprisoned god lent her power, happened to be there as this child and his reflection fell and chose and reached for each other and died, and all three reached for each other. And it was Glory's power that OrLeon used to save Cosmene, and Cosmene used to save OrLeon right back. And because of that, Cosmene was created and given to Glory as a companion, and to OrLeon as a companion. Cosmene was given life. OrLeon, the child, made a choice. He drowned in that bay to save this girl that he created by looking at her. And as she was created and saw him drown, she saved him. And it was all in an instant.
I relate that observation.
Actually, on a crit, I would like to say that it's not an observation. You hear it whispered into your ear to the point that you see it. A woman's voice whispers words you don't understand into your ear, Lemma. And you see it happen and you understand it.
And so rather than an observation, Lemma says with absolute certainty, it was not a choice. It was a moment of absolute need when all of the forces were perfectly aligned, almost exactly as it was for me.
And you hear the voice say in your ear, I couldn't even be mad about it.
Is it a familiar voice?
You've heard it before, but, it was just not, but familiar is the wrong.
Yeah.
You realize, if you think about it later, you've heard this voice yell something at the peddler, but...
Oh, okay. Yeah. Lemma understands and smiles to himself.
I mean, I suppose OrLeon understands that his dream was his creation, and he understands that he no longer needs to know why he is among the numbers of those who have died and returned.
And I think he understands why it was so hard to remember. Not just because he was young, but it was, it was violent, even with its beauty, and quick and confusing. And I think it would also tell him why he is so in love, if you don't mind me saying, with cycles. Because the moment is an almost eternal cycle.
OrLeon knows he has to take all of this that has happened and somewhere in it find a way forward together with his friends, who he now thinks of as his family. But before he turns his mind to that, he has one flash of a thought, which is that if this is a cycle, what would it mean for it to end? And he doesn't know if such an ending would be a comfort.
I think while Lemma and OrLeon are discussing OrLeon's dream, Evelyn will nod to Ginny and move forward to Kiva.
All right, good. Thought you'd forgotten me, or maybe we're staring my ass a little too much.
We have rather important things to discuss, actually.
You're gonna be one of the few people in history to hear this, but I have to sort of apologize. I said something incorrect to you the other day. And it's could be important to what's about to happen. You'd asked me if the Lady of Madness created anything besides her two queens, and I said just chaos, which I suppose is accurate, but I wasn't thinking about the stuff there was to be chaotic about. I mean, as poets, I kind of thought you get the gist, but all the things there were before there were people, the monsters, we would call the things behind the veil.
She created those?
Well, they both did. The Iron and Madness both created. They were just creating stuff, I suppose.
Queens and monsters.
Well, if they showed up now, you'd go, "Oh, that's a monster."
Yes, I would.
It's probably not polite. You know, there's wolves, and then there's like the dire ones, and then there's things that aren't wolves at all. And where my father's taken up, sometimes there's, most of those early creations, they got shoved behind the ward. That was part of the point of it.
Are you saying that we are going somewhere where there's going to be monsters?
I mean, I made reference to that, I think, when I said, you asked me if it was dangerous, or if my father was dangerous, and I said he lives somewhere that there are dangerous things. That's what I meant.
I suppose I hoped or thought that you were being more metaphorical than literal, but all right.
Well,
so you're saying
it's dangerous in the other way as well, in the metaphor, in the madness way. I told you it drove my father mad, and that's why I gave you the rags to wrap around our faces when we get there, so you don't inhale the
madness,
the spores, I suppose you'd call them.
All right.
You'll see when we don't worry. I've got covered. I don't want you to be alarmed when you see.
Why would I be alarmed? We seem to have it well in hand. Evelyn is losing her mind.
They're not necessarily worse than a wolf or what have you. It's just they look very different.
They look very different. Be prepared.
And I don't know exactly necessarily what they're going to look like. Chaos and all.
Right, could be anything.
Yeah, so I wanted to make that revision to my earlier statement.
That's much appreciated.
I should probably tell the others as well. Oi, you lot!
Oh.
Just there be monsters up ahead.
Oh, good.
Where we're going? Is that a worry? So just don't be. You'll probably be fine. You're good in a fight and all that. Just, there's gonna be weird shit. So don't freak out. And she's had a kind of a scarf around her neck, and she puts it up over her nose and mouth. And take those rags I gave you when we get to the cemetery, because there'll be stuff in the air that, we're just going to be there a little bit, so it shouldn't be too much of a problem. My dad had to be there a long time before it got in his head and made him. Well, you'll see. But also, once you see, you'll be glad you have the rags. Yeah.
Are there willows there?
No, I see why you're. That's so funny you ask.
This is hysterical.
No, because at first you'll think they are, but they're not.
Almost as though the willow trees lie.
And she looks at you like, well, that's actually a really good way of putting it. Very poetic, if you will. Someone who's book smart, make a knowledge roll.
Yes, all right.
Lemma got a 20 with hope.
I got double threes.
We know everything about this.
This is a more minor thing, I suppose. Also, sallow is an old word for willow. That's less important than the thing. Yes, on your crit, you see her realize that, and yeah, I don't know. You figured it out, so good job. I don't know. I shouldn't have had you roll, but you get some hope. So good job. We'll play that forward to something great else. Those great rolls. I'll say she says, that is a good way of putting it. It's not the only way they lie. They definitely do look like willow trees, but aren't. And then what they are will lie to you as well, if you don't put the rags over your fucking face. So remember to do that right now.
Evelyn lifts the rag around, ties it around her face. Before her mouth is covered, she whispers, Memento Mori.
Wait, who crit?
I did.
Yes. Then, perfect, because what you also remember, as you say Memento Mori, and you remember the Lord of Iron telling you that the Lady of Madness had become a skeleton, a madness. A skeleton, like a skeleton in the trees, like that artwork that Cathania saw and said, Memento Mori. So you feel very strongly that your mother found the right place.
And what she found here led her somewhere else.
And you never got the name of that book.
I was too hungover, god damn it.
And now here you are. You come to a ring of trees that, yes, at first seem very much like weeping willows over a graveyard. But they're not willow branches. There is some sort of moss hanging down. It looks like at first.
Do the branches look like bones?
Perhaps. Or perhaps it's that the moss is not a moss. It is the remnants of something else. And as the light shifts, there are little motes floating through the air. It could almost be pleasant, but it is not at all what holds your attention. What holds your attention is what's happening in the middle of the ring, amidst the sparse gravestones. There is a man, not the elf you were expecting. His clothes, they are torn and fetid. The skin is brown, green. The body is trunk-like. The head is not recognizably mortal, humanoid. OrLeon, you feel bursts of activity in your mind as you are looking at a man who has turned into a large fungus creature. The spores from the trees are drawn to him. They float in the light upon him. It's almost a fur-like aspect. He still seems to have 2 legs, though they are stalk-like. He trudges through the cemetery, pulling up plants. There are vine-like plants that have sprouted from the ground. You see one sprout in real time, just poke up through the earth, and a leaf the size of a human hand. And he pulls it out and shreds it. OrLeon is someone who studies nature a great deal, and particularly unusual poetic nature. You recognize this plant as the vellum leaf orchid. The leaves of it are very much like paper, vellum. It can be used as parchment or paper. You hear muttering. This man is muttering. Kiva says, I know, the resemblance, it's striking. Follow me. And she sort of edges around the circle and gets to a spot. There's like a flat stone that doesn't have the plants, like the vines or the
Willows.
Yes, that's clear of all of that, but still kind of in the middle. And she says, I used to come here to collect the leaves. They've got messages on them, pictures. Hundreds of years ago he compiled them, but now the trees tell him to do the opposite, to destroy the messages.
Does he burn them?
Hold on. He just shreds them. It's funny you bring that up, though. Hold on one second. And she reaches her hand into shadow, twists, and pulls something out that I think maybe Evelyn or OrLeon would be able to see and understand, just given the kinds of magic that it is. Evelyn, I think, would know without rolling. It is a very particular. It's not something you've encountered before, but you immediately recognize it as fear and this thing that's not chance. And it suddenly reminds you of your dream. And she says, I call the hatred rending minds, the purest love's desire, the comfort that no coward finds. I call the heart of fire. And she crushes this sphere that Evelyn and perhaps OrLeon can see, and the entire ring of trees catches fire, encircling you all. All right, time to do what I brought you here for. What, you think this whole time I was just playing nice? You're here to rescue me fucking father. Now let's go. And next episode, we will figure that out.
Thank you for listening to Queen of Daggers, Heart of Fire, a production of Hagdeal Gaming. If you like what we're doing here, come say hi on Blue Sky or TikTok at Hagdeal Gaming. Leave us a review. We'd love to know what you think. And remember, as a wise person once said,
Like a turnip.
Exactly, Ginny. You are like a turnip.